Powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. Now, live from inside the Matt Black Kia Studios. It's Football at 4.
Eagles game day. We don't normally get Andrew DiCecco on a game day, but tonight the Eagles and Texans Thursday Night Football right here on 97.3 ESPN. The coverage starts at 7 o'clock. What are some of the X factors? Eagles, Texans. We know trap game has been thrown out there. I don't know. The Eagles are 7-0. This team in Houston, 1-5-1. I think the Eagles understand what's going on here. They are a team, right? I think this is an important stretch of 3 games. Why? Well, they're playing some donkeys right now. But if you win your 3 games here, there's a lot of stuff going on around you. I think Minnesota plays Dallas coming up. I think Minnesota and the Giants play coming up.
Yeah.
The Eagles can start to separate from the pack if they win these games that they should clean up on. That's why I think tonight is a game you don't overlook, because you can start seeing the number 1 seed. You win tonight, you win next week, you beat Indianapolis 3 weeks from now. You start to really make a big push towards that number 1 seed, Andrew. And that's why I think tonight is not kind of a trap look-ahead game. Do you look at it, though? Do you disagree? Do you look at this game and worry that, hey, it's on the road, it's at Houston, it's a Thursday night, you got the Phillies going on? Does it have an ominous feel, or do you think this team is focused enough to understand how important a win tonight is?
I sort of see this as the Eagles are so locked in right now, and everyone's focused on the mission, that there hasn't been many room for distractions, because you have at the top, you have Nick Sirianni and you have Jalen Hurts, and they are leading the team, and they're not allowing any sort of distractions or trap games or any things of that nature that can possibly go in there and disrupt their rhythm and their flow. I think they're going to go in there and take care of business and move forward. But like you said, guys, this is one of those games where you cannot take the opponent lightly, even though you wonder where their source, the Houston Texans' source of offense is going to be generated from, because they're now without Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins, 2 of their starting wide receivers.
Yeah, they like to run the ball. Obviously, Pierce is a rookie and probably their best option. But when you look at that matchup, do you think there will be yards to be had? Because here's the big key, Andrew, and I'm very interested to get your take on how the Eagles' defense looks different or what changes with Jordan Davis out.
Well, it's very interesting, because Jordan Davis did a lot of obviously clogging lanes and affording opportunities for his teammates to make plays and clean up. Now, with him out of the lineup, all of a sudden, and teams were, let's not discredit the fact that teams were finding success running downhill on the one gripe that you had with the Eagles defense. It was that their between the tackles run defense was a little bit susceptible to leaking out yards and things like that. So I think that there could be yards to be had, and I'm interested to see who steps up, probably a Javon Hargrave, to fulfill that role. But they don't have anyone on their roster right now like Jordan Davis. There's not many players in the NFL quite like Jordan Davis. I think the Texans are going to give it everything that they have to kind of turn Dameon Pierce loose, but the Eagles know that the Texans offense runs through Dameon Pierce. They don't have a lot of options outside of that. So to me, you stop Dameon Pierce and you force Davis Mills to drop back and throw the football, all of a sudden that's going to create opportunities for a team in the Texans that really got manhandled up front by the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, allowing 3 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and I think 6 quarterback hits. So the game script could quickly flip in the Eagles' favor if they're able to bottle up Dameon Pierce.
Andrew, what do you think are some target goals / objectives for the Eagles on both sides of the ball tonight? Like, typically the head coach will go to the whiteboard and he'll say, make sure rushing yards allowed under 95, passing yards for us, let's get over 300, penalties, keep it under 3. In a game like this, it should be heavily lopsided, so we hope and think. You never know. It's professional football. But, what are some other things, assuming everything goes to plan, that you are looking for the Eagles to accomplish within the game?
Well, Ryan, this is a good opportunity for the Eagles to clean up their penalties. I think they had 8 last week for 60 yards, which is obviously you want to get those numbers down. I think that was sort of lost in the victory in the 7-0, getting out to 7-0. I also think they want to maybe become more proficient in their third down efficiency, which obviously improved last week, but I think that could still stand to be built upon. And I think that you want to be able to take advantage and build off of what you did with the Steelers and uncorking the deep ball and really redefining that area of their playbook and get guys like Quez Watkins and different players involved, and Zach Pascal, who you saw with the 34-yard touchdown last week. Get some of these guys involved and really start to stretch the field and play around with a few things, because now the Eagles are in a position where the entire playbook is really wide open. And you probably want to get the running game going and shorten the game a little bit. And the Texans are the league worst in run defense. They allowed 1,300 yards, averaging a staggering 186 yards per game. So I think that this is a big Miles Sanders game. Get him going, work Boston Scott in there. You might even see Trey Sermon active, who knows. But I think this is going to be a run-heavy approach and in an attempt to shorten the game and really get to that 11-day layoff.
Andrew, I remember seeing something before the season started on one of the betting sites. Will A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith all get over 1,000 yards receiving? I forget what the odds were, but I just remember laughing at it. But you look at A.J. Brown right now, 659 receiving yards. Dallas Goedert, 421. Devontae Smith, 420. It is very doable. And, oh, by the way, Miles Sanders almost has 600 rushing. Just put it in perspective what these guys are potentially on pace to achieve.
I mean, this offense is so high octane, and you try to stop one guy, and you get a Dallas Goedert that can beat you down the seam or in the red zone. You try to stop A.J. Brown, and all of a sudden you have Devontae Smith that can beat you deep in all three levels of the field, really. You try to stop it doesn't matter. I mean, you have Miles Sanders that is on pace for 1,000-yard season. So, I mean, the Eagles their offense right now is very reminiscent of the greatest show on turf back in the early 2000s, of course, with Mike Martz and the St. Louis Rams. I don't know how you stop certain aspects of this offense, because everything's really firing on all cylinders, and it really starts with the quarterback. I mean, the way the season was unfolding, it was hard to envision Jalen Hurts having more than 16 or 17 touchdown passes this year, but I think the trajectory has changed here, guys. I think you start to see the different elements of the passing game really evolve at key moments here, right when you like to see the team surge. So I think right now you could feasibly see 3 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard running back, which is incredible to think.
Right, and the trigger man is Jalen Hurts. And, one of the things I've been asked a lot this week on different shows as a guest on other shows, which is Jalen Hurts, and, has he taken that step? Have they made their decision? What's different? I said, even, Andrew, if in your mindset, if you're a listener out there and you said, Jalen Hurts hasn't impressed me, he's just an average quarterback, all right? A lot of people don't want to change their original opinion of what they thought. Fine. If he's just an average player, and that might be your opinion, it's not mine. I think this guy has shown that he has grown as a player. It shows how much better the team is around him. They have made him go from an average player to whatever level player, good, great, elite. I don't know what that is, but it goes to show that how important getting the right personnel around Jalen helped pull more of his talent out.
I think that's a fair assessment, Mike. And, to go off your first point, if there are those out there that still are skeptical about Jalen Hurts, my question to them would be, well, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're watching, but you're seeing the evolution of a young quarterback. You're seeing him grow within the offense. He has stability around him and his coaching staff. The team believes in him. They're listening. His message is resonating throughout the locker room. You're seeing he's seeing the field well. He's getting everybody involved, and you're really seeing different. He's checking off boxes every single week, guys, as far as what he's able to do, go through his progressions. Just when you think you have him figured out, or, he did, I'd like to see him do more of this. I'd like to see him run a little bit less. Okay, well, he ran twice last week. I think you're seeing him really just taking to his coaches and really just becoming more and more comfortable in what they're asking him to do. And I think that, like I said, the whole playbook now is wide open. I don't think there are any restrictions for Jalen, and you're starting to see the deep ball come alive a little bit. And that was the one question I had coming off the bye week. Are they able to sort of tap into that element of the offense? And because you have so many explosive weapons, you don't want it to be bottled up and restricted. And instead, you see them, you see that really flourish against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't think that there's anything that Jalen Hurts can't do or that he won't be able to do, just given his skill set and the amount of confidence that the coaches and players around him have in him.
Your point about the playbook being opened, I think, tells you all you need to know about what the Eagles think of him, right? They're not calling – he has allowed them to expand the playbook because they trust him so much.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And you're seeing that every week. Every week it seems that they're going deeper and deeper into their bag of tricks, and they're just letting him execute and play, right? I think that you're seeing them put the ball in his hands a lot more, take more risks down the field. He's been very accurate and on time with his delivery. And it's just one of the great stories of the NFL this year, the evolution of Jalen Hurts.
All right, Andrew, give me some concerns, if any, tonight. No, you might say don't have any. But if there's a concern tonight.
The roof collapsing in Houston, right. A tornado.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody just assumes this is a steamroll.
No,
but is there something that you're watching for tonight that might be a concern? If not, what is it you're watching for tonight?
No, listen, in all seriousness, guys, there are no steamrolls on paper in the NFL. The game has to be played, and you cannot look past any opponent. Now, I think the Eagles need to stick to what's got them there. I also think that you want to see a little bit more of a heavy dose of the running game, knowing what the Texans are and knowing how susceptible they are to that part of the game. And I think you want to shorten it if you're the Eagles, get out of there healthy and enjoy almost another bye week, really, before the Monday night bout with the Washington Commanders. I think you just want to continue to do what got you there, like I said, and stick to the bread and butter. But I also think that you have to approach it as if you're going against an undefeated team. You hear the message from the quarterback and the head coach every week saying, we're just trying to go 1-0. The message is there, and it's not just something that they say. They really believe that you need to go 1-0 every week, and as far as don't look past anyone and go out there and execute. And I think that's what you're going to see. And, I mean, I don't – this is a Texans team, guys, that we talked about the Lions last year and having a similar DNA. This is a very young team, but they play really hard. And they have a lot of young foundational building blocks on that team that are going to be part of it for the sustainable future. And they're not going to roll over. You're going to get a lot of guys that are hungry and willing to show what they're able to do in prime time. I think the Eagles will be ready to counter that just like they have all season.
All right, Andrew DiCecco, of course, you can check out his work over at InsideTheBirds.com. He's got his X Factors for tonight's Eagles-Texans games. Check that out. And, of course, you can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. The coverage starts at 7. Phillies and Astros will be on our sister station, Rock 104.1, and you can listen to that game on the Rock 104.1 mobile app. Andrew, appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, guys, it's been fun. Take care.